Who would have thought toothbrushes would become such a competitive industry?
It used to be we used what we got for free at the dentist, but not anymore. Now dentists want us to use vibrating, electric, and ultrasonic toothbrushes too. But we're not getting those for free after a cleaning.
One of the newer brushes on the shelves at your local drugstore is the Philips Sonicare ProtectiveClean 6100. In this review, I'll try out the toothbrush here in my home over several weeks.
I'll tell you what special features it has, what it's like to use, and I'll wrap up with things like the pros and the cons, and if I think it's a good sonic electric toothbrush for you.
When you unpack the box, there's a few things inside. You'll get your new toothbrush handle, a single brush head, a charging base with an AC cord, and some type of travel case. And depending on which model you get, that case will either be just for transport or for charging too. Unlike some other smarter toothbrushes, there's no app or Bluetooth connectivity with this toothbrush. Anything you need to do with it happens on the device. The toothbrush has 2 buttons and a handful of lights. The power button is obvious, and the second button allows you to switch between cleaning modes and intensity level, which we'll get to. Other lights on the device will show you power, intensity, or battery level, or when it's time to change your brush head. When you turn on the Sonicare 6100, it's actually really quiet, significantly quieter than other models.
Philips didn't trade off quietness for power. With 3 levels of intensity and 3 different modes, you've got options. But what Philips markets as special modes are really just different time durations. Clean mode is a 2-minute cycle, white mode runs 2.5 minutes, and gum care mode is a 3-minute option. Whichever mode you choose, you can dial the intensity of the vibrations up or down among 3 settings, so it's possible to really dial in your preferences even if nothing special is actually happening. There's also a setting on this brush that will give you a warning of sorts if you're using too much pressure. Essentially, it alters the vibration pattern and will chatter a bit more if you're using too much pressure as a gentle reminder to ease off. If you find this disconcerting or annoying, you can turn it off.
The Philips 6100 also has a quad pacer timer, which just changes the vibration pattern every 30 seconds or so as a nudge to move on to another quadrant of your mouth. Based on your frequency of brushing, duration, pressure, and time, it'll also tell you when to change the brush head. These features are now standard in the Sonicare product line and rely on microchips in the brush head and the handle talking to each other. While useful, it does contribute to replacement brush heads being a bit pricier. So what's it like brushing with the Sonicare 6100? I was able to find a nice intensity setting that worked for me. I preferred the highest intensity and the 2-minute time duration. It is hard to know if your toothbrush is really scrubbing harder or more effectively than any other brush in this tech category, but I can say it left me with clean feeling teeth each time.
A neat feature known as Easy Start is meant for new users, and over the first few uses, the toothbrush will build up the intensity of the vibrations to give you a bit more familiarity over time and some level of comfort, since plenty of folks can find these brushes kind of head rattling. Let's talk about the cost of these brush heads, by the way. Running about $10 to $15 a piece, they're certainly far more expensive than a regular toothbrush, but the overall cost is actually quite nominal.
When it comes to the battery life, Philips promises weeks of juice, and I found I was getting about 2 to 3 weeks depending on if I brushed for the full 2 minutes or not. I have reviewed toothbrushes that last a lot longer, but it's also not a huge hassle to put the toothbrush on its charging base overnight once a week to keep it full.
Overall, the Philips Sonicare 6100 is a solid and effective toothbrush in my opinion, albeit maybe slightly overpriced compared to its predecessors. On the pro side, it's easy to use, fuss-free with no need to whip out your smartphone, and with a handful of timers and intensities, it should be easy to find a setting that works for you. On the con side, I think that for the price, Philips could toss in another brush head, plus battery life could be better. If you are looking for something that lasts a hell of a lot longer, by the way, check out the uSmile Y10 Pro, which gives you 6 months of battery life on a charge. The 6100 here would not be ideal for frequent travelers, while something like the Y10 Pro would. Even so, I think the Sonicare 6100 is a great balance between smart features without being overly complicated, and I can definitely recommend it to you. The Sonicare 6100 costs around $120 US or $120 to $160 Canadian, depending on if you can shop the sales. You can check out my review of the uSmile Y10 Pro here, or see what brushing with an app each night is like right now.